yes, Starbucks closing in these Democrat-ran cities. And something I've also talked about in these Democrat-ran cities, which brings me to my next headline here, is you had an Olympic medalist attacked by a homeless person with a metal pipe. And this happened in Los Angeles. Mind you, the Olympics is going to be in Los Angeles soon. And there are kids that are coming off buses to the ground riddled with homeless people shooting up fentanyl. There was a clip on Instagram. I'm going to see if I can import it into this show here, where there's just masses of kids coming off this bus, public transportation, into a sea of homeless people doing the fentanyl crawl. And if you don't know what that is, the fentanyl crawl is basically where you're passed out and you're kind of like leaned forward and you're like that for hours and sometimes an entire day. And this is happening all across Los Angeles.
Hey, bye, kids. Y'all get home safe, okay? Y'all get home safe. My little partners out here, get home safe, all right? I'm sorry y'all gotta be going through see all this shit. Okay? Get home safe.
Get home safe.
They gotta walk through this shit. Come on, man. These little kids gotta walk through this shit. This shit is crazy.
It is wild. She's not the first person to be attacked by homeless people. This happens all the time. You go down to Venice Beach, there's videotape of them attacking people with hockey sticks, planks of wood, other metal pipes themselves. They will throw their feces at you. There was a famous case a couple years ago where a lady was stopped at traffic and a homeless person pulled her out of her car and threw hot diarrhea that was in a coffee can all over her. I mean, it was all over her face. Some of you might be laughing, some of you might not, but this is what we're dealing with in California. There's syringes and razor blades in kids' playgrounds. You literally have to metal detect it, sometimes on a monthly basis, to remove them. There's an app for Southern California that literally tracks the feces and drug use across Los Angeles and Southern California. Do any of your states have that, by the way? Because I only know of Democrat-ran states that have these types of apps where you have to track and make sure you're not stepping in feces. Savannah Hernandez of Sav Says, she was on Blaze Media for a while, and she was the producer of Slightly Offensive, and she was in California for 2 hours, and she literally couldn't believe her eyes, and she within 2 hours almost stepped in human feces herself, seeing people just riddled with drugs everywhere. It's completely mind-blowing. So the headline here is a Team USA medalist said that she was injured in an unprovoked attack from a homeless man outside a restaurant in Los Angeles. Kim Glass recounted the alleged attack on her Instagram account and showed some of her injuries. And it's honestly, it's a pretty bad injury. I mean, that had to be bleeding everywhere, eyes completely swollen shut, and that's a pretty good gash. If anybody's seen a nice fillet open on the head, that thing is bleeding everywhere. You could have an extremely small paper cut injury almost on the head, and it's just going to bleed like wild. So I can't imagine what that would have looked like. She says that she was with her friend and left a restaurant when she noticed a homeless man that was acting strangely. She allegedly ran up to her as she was saying goodbye to her friend and threw a metal rod at her face. Before I knew it, a big metal bolt like a pipe hit me in the face, she said on an Instagram video. It happened so fast, he literally flung it from the street. He was not even close to me at all, she said, describing the man as having hateful eyes. So this happens repeatedly. And she goes on here to describe, how she had multiple fractures in her face, which is freaking horrifying. But some of these homeless people commit crimes, obviously. They steal things, go into Walgreens, Bloomingdale's, commit the crimes for Prop 47 that we're talking about, and never get prosecuted, by the way. And these people are just left on the streets. And to give this perspective, and you guys will know this the statistic that I'm quoting for those that are frequent viewers of the Bald Brad Show, is we have 1/4 of the entire United States homeless population in Los Angeles alone. 1/4. You're talking thousands and thousands of people. If you were to go on our streets here in Los Angeles, go near like Hollywood or wherever, I mean, hell, you can go pretty much anywhere. You're going to see entire camps. Like, not like just the camps you're thinking of, like when you go to a campground. Think of like tent on top of like another tent on top of another tent for like blocks, pouring out into the streets. They have entire beddings, like bed systems, like furniture, like drawers you could pull out that you get at home. They have lamps for some reason that aren't even plugged in that make it look like an actual bedroom. Rugs. It is crazy what's going on here. And these camps light on fire consistently. They attack one another. There's entire women getting raped, which is so odd to me that you have this Democrat Party that's so pro-women, but yet you got women left and right being raped in these camps, and just they don't want to do anything about it. They want to keep them there. They're fine. Nothing's going on. Nothing's wrong. Yeah, you got prostitution, drug use taking place. Things are so bad in terms of drug use that literally in Los Angeles, and Joe Biden as well wants to do this, they want to provide them safe places to do drugs. They want to offer them syringes and everything so they can be safe in those areas. This is where we're at. This is where the Democrat Party is at. And Joe Biden got 81 million votes. A dude that can't even lift up his feet, shuffles his feet around the White House, where literally his aides are worried about him tripping over a cord. When have you ever heard of that? Where your White House aides and the staff around you are freaking out because they're scared that you're going to trip over a cord and die. That's where we're at in terms of the Democrat Party and their disastrous policies taking over our U.S. cities. I hope you enjoyed that clip from the Bald Brad Show. If you did, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on all our future content.